Hi guys, Jeremy Molly with Active Martial Arts. The weapon for this cycle for intermediates is going to be the kamas. Okay, these are performance kamas. These are like aircraft aluminum light ones. For the practice kamas in class, they're going to be the foam kamas. And for performance, if you're actually going to test or do a demonstration, or you want to use them during the practice week when we practice up leading up for testing, you can use the performance kamas. Okay, so we're going to learn a couple basic things with the kamas before you start learning your form, just how to manipulate them and hold them and things like that, because you're going to have them before you actually begin learning how to use them. So I want to hold the kama right in the center. My grip is in the center. I don't want to have a deft grip on it like this as I'm trying to strike. As I strike, it's going to loosen up a little bit. I'm going to use my fingers to snap the kama. The power from our strikes, like a knife hand strike in Taekwondo, comes from the rotation at the last second, snapping like this. But with the kamas, we don't rotate them in this direction. The power of the rotation comes from your wrist. The snap at the end of the technique, straight. So if you're looking straight on at the kama as it does a knife hand strike technique, if you're looking at a knife hand strike, my hand is inverted here and then it rotates. If you look at the kama, it stays perfectly level all the way into the last second here at the moment of impact. So if you're looking straight on at me, kama's kind of hidden. Okay, shouldn't see the blade pointing up like this. So practice some of these strikes on one side. Make sure you can hear my kama hitting my forearm because I'm snapping it at the end. So practice on the one side, straight strikes, chambering here. Now this hand, when we do a knife hand strike, normally it comes to the belt like this. With the kama, it's going to do the same thing. If I'm doing a right strike, it's going to come to the belt, but it's going to be at an angle like this. My hand is going to be like this. So instead of upside down, here it is. Obviously, because I don't want to jam the kama into my body. So that's my side knife hand strike. Chop. Other side, chop. So these are some good moves to practice before you learn the form. Now we're going to do another one. We're going to do an overhead strike. So overhead strike comes from over my head like this, and it's going to snap down just like this. So it's kind of like if you've ever been fly fishing or you've done some fishing, or if you try to take a rope and make a whip out of it, you're whipping the kama forward. I'm going to do it slow, like this. Common mistakes people make is bending of the wrist when you go to do it. Wrist stays straight. My wrist is perfectly straight as I do this cut. And then death grip on it, like this. That's just hitting some of the butt end of the kama. We don't want that. So it's snapping in at that 45 angle. So the chamber happens up here, and it's loose and snaps down. So we can combine these together with a side cut, chamber, downwards cut, like this. Okay. Now just to get comfortable with your kamas, how to move them around and twirl them and do all these tricks, what we're going to do is we're going to work on a wrist roll. The wrist roll looks like this. This is a forward wrist roll. Double forward wrist roll. Okay. From this angle, it looks like kama's making a full circle. From this angle, it's much less impressive. It just kind of looks like I'm flipping the kama around, which is actually what I'm doing. I'm making the illusion of a circle with this, okay? So, I'm going to break it down slowly. The movement without the kama in my hand is like this. I'm holding the kama, and this is like training wheel version of this, but I'm going to open my hand. I'm going to wrap it around like this. I'm making a rotation with my hand, my fingers pointing towards me, and I snap it back forward. So I'm going to go open, wrap around, snap forwards. From here, open, wrap around, snap forwards. The kama is going to rest between my thumb and my finger, right here. This is the only thing holding on to it. Okay? So it's really kind of loose in there. So as I open my hand and wrap around, now I'm going to wrap with my fingers and snap forward. So I go open, wrap around, snap forwards. From this angle, open, wrap around, snap forwards. Follow along with me. Open, wrap around, snap forwards. Other hand, if you're left-handed, open, wrap around, snap forwards. Okay? Put together, this gives a really cool illusion that your kamas are moving in a circle. Okay? So, those 3 tips, just to review. Perfectly straight, sideways, cross strike or knife hand strike, overhead strike, downward, and wrist roll, forward wrist rolls, like this. So if you practice all these moves together, it's gonna help you when you go to learn the form. You're gonna kind of already have an edge on the basics of the combos.